All right, everybody. We're live here at the India House out here in Southwest Houston, right here off of Belford and Gessner. And I got Mr. Ben. Ben, explain to everybody what we're doing here today.
Thank you. I'm Ben Brewer, Executive Director of the Brays Oaks Management District, and we are having our first public workshop of the Livable Centers study. And there's been a lot of Livable Centers study done all over the city. I think she announced tonight there's maybe been 28 of them. They're either completed or underway. And it was finally Brays Oaks' turn. And so what we're doing is we're taking a comprehensive look at opportunities for connectivity, transportation improvements, economic development activities, really looking to support and strengthen what's happening in this neighborhood.
Okay, which is the Brayburn neighborhood. It's
the Brays Oaks neighborhood, but it includes Brayburn, it includes Westbury, it includes lots of neighborhoods within the Brays Oaks district, which we value, and we love working with the neighborhood, the civic associations, all the different neighborhood associations. We work very closely with District J and District K and District C.
Yeah,
they're all
right.
they're all represented within
right.
And Abby Kamen, right? Yeah. Ed Pollard. So anyway, all great partners, and this study really begins to look, and tonight's workshop is really about our existing infrastructure and conditions and things like that. Where the most traffic accidents take place, what are infrastructure, our aging infrastructure, some of the challenges that we have there. It looks at our parks and developable opportunities within the district. So it's when you end up, the document, when we end this up, we're going to have a good guiding document, a plan that will be implementable. In other words, it'll be a roadmap for us to make improvements to the Brays Oaks district over the next 15 years.
Wow, and we're talking about the Brays Oak district. That's a big district. Is Marland in that district?
Which one?
Marland.
Part of Marland. Part of Marland. Yeah.
And then you also
Westbury, and then you have you have. Gosh, there's so many. I mean,
because you're talking about all that stuff out on Fondren Southwest, over there on Belford and Fondren, all of that area.
All the way to the west.
Our community, which is Brayburn Valley West, where we at today.
Correct. Right.
And then how is Brayburn Valley West? Tell us a little bit about how we, the community here in Brayburn Valley West, how are we tied into this?
Well, y'all are very active through the neighborhood associations, through the super neighborhoods.
Okay.
And that's what's so important, are those, whether super neighborhoods convene those neighborhoods, those civic associations, and talk through issues and things like this. And I think we've got, most of Westbury's super neighborhood is in the district. The Brays Oaks Management super neighborhood, Brays Oaks district, Brays Oaks super neighborhood is completely encompassed in the district. And then we have parts of Greater Maryland and then parts of Brayburn. That and they meet up at the Brayburn Country Club, and
right.
But anyway, it's
but we
fabulous.
We are tied into this
absolutely
project, which is Brayburn Valley West.
Correct. Right.
And now, what are these images and these things that we got behind us, Ben?
Well, these are the boards where they're talking about what that infrastructure looks like. Where are the parks and developable opportunities? Where are the hot spots where we have a lot of the accidents that take place? Where are the opportunities for maybe bike trails and things like that?
This is more or less into a safety measurement of keeping our community safe.
It's keeping it safe, keeping it very connected.
Okay.
Improving our mobility options, in particular focusing on pedestrian and bicycle opportunities within the district.
Yeah, right here with the bike trail that's coming down Brayswood.
Exactly, right. To connect to that, we have all these drainage ways throughout the Brays Oaks district. Every one of those drainage ways serves a critical function when we do have big rains and things like that, floods,
because
right?
We did a special on that Kagan Bayou behind the community of Brayburn Valley West.
Right, and they also represent an amenity where you can put a trail along them and be connected to all these neighborhoods without ever having to get on West Belfort or on Fondren or things like that.
In other words, keep you off the major streets.
And keep it safe, right.
Keep it safe, because this way you are really kind of closed in, away from all of the
from the traffic. Right. You know that people don't always observe that 35-mile-an-hour speed limit on.
Ain't that the truth, man? Everybody 35, I think they mean 65.
Yeah, and
the way some people drive. And so this way here, it's more, and then with this here way being, you can get a lot of kids now can start riding on that bike trail and
walking to school.
And even walking to school.
Exactly.
Is if we can get this connected. That's what you're saying. If we try.
That's what this plan is about, is making those connections with the neighborhoods, with the schools, with the amenity areas within the district, and then the challenge will be in funding it, and how do you build those trails, and how do you put proper signage up to let people know that they're there. That's all part of the implementation process. So we're having this workshop. They're going to present their ideas at a workshop in September, and then they're going to talk about the final plan and implementation at a meeting in December. And we'll be pretty much completed by the end of this calendar year. They'll be probably putting the finishing touches on the report in January of 2022, but it's typically about a 9-month process.
It's a process.
Yeah, it is.
And that's what we're doing now. We're in the process.
Well, and with good community input, and that's what's so important, is to have the community input.
And this is what we're trying to make sure that we have this communication to bring in the neighborhood so they can be part of this.
Well, it is not the consultant's plan, it's our plan, and that's why the community input is so important.
And when you say our plan, who are we preferring to, Ben?
It's really for all of those neighborhoods that are in the Brays Oaks Management District and all those businesses that are in the Brays Oaks Management District, because we're trying, as I say, trying to improve economic development opportunities, trying to improve housing opportunities, trying to make it a safer and better connected and more pedestrian-oriented place. When you can achieve that, you're going to have a neighborhood, and I talk about Brays Oaks kind of collectively with all the neighborhoods, neighborhood and civic associations that we have here. You're going to make it a very attractive place for people to want to live, want to come and raise their family, and so it's all those things are tied into the economic development component.
And which that eventually, me being a homeowner and been part of Brays Valley West for a little over 22 years, and that really brings the value of your property up, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you don't want the appraisal district going crazy, right. but at the same time, but you also want to see good value maintained in your property. And that's what, if we can implement this plan and get some of these things done, we'll be well on the way to making that happen. Can we get a little shot, Ben, of some of the things that we got here on display? We probably don't want to look at all of them, but
just a few of them. Just to give an idea of, let the people know what we're actually trying to implement.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, they're moving in the car.
All right. Well, the title of this one says it all: collision heat map. And basically, the larger the circle or the brighter the circle, the more collisions that have taken place at these locations. For instance, here's the intersection of Belfort and Fondren. It's been ranked in the top 10 for intersections with the most number of collisions in the city. And so there's work that needs to be done at all of these intersections, particularly up and down Fondren. But by making certain streetscape improvements and pedestrian improvements and having good signage and better signalization and things like that, we can reduce the number of collisions that take place in these locations. So this is just one part of one of the things that we're studying. All right. This is looks like the arteries within a body, and that's truly what it is, because this is a map that shows the water line age and locations within the district. And the thing that's alarming here is that all of these that are in red are over 30 years old, and that means that that's going to be a challenge, because those are the pipes when they get over 30, and particularly when they get up close to 50, where you get a lot of the water breaks and things like that.
And that comes from, due to the fact that it's hurricane season and we're expecting rain.
Right. Now this is water, not sewer. That's another map, but still, this just shows that there's a great amount of need right here in this in the district for a lot of these water lines to be replaced. So anyway, but this is the kind of stuff that you need to study to really understand where some of the needs are, where some of the opportunities are, and so anyway. And these purple lines, they don't even know how all those are. It says age unavailable, so they don't even know how old some of those are.
Talking about at least 35 to 50 years old.
Yeah, over 30 probably, when you consider the proximity to some of the
pipelines.
These are the water lines, that feed your houses and things like that. Exactly.
Clothes out and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So this, like the last map, which was water supply lines, these are the water drainage lines. In other words, the sanitary sewer, and this is what takes that water away out of the streets. When we do have rain events and things like this, all of these drain in typically into the bio, into some of the drainage ditches that we have throughout the whole district. But again, the concern is that so much of this map shows red lines that are over 30 years old. And again, those are the kind of things that fail over time, and so there's a lot of, again, work to be done, a lot of replacement that needs to take place here. And this is not untypical for the city of Houston, because it's so hard to keep up with the capital improvements that are necessary to kind of bring these areas sort of up to current code and current operation.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway. Let me ask you this, Ben. Do this sometime affects the bayous and the Brays bayou and the Kagan bayou?
Sure. For instance, if the storm sewer, there's a break in it, then the water's not going to get to the bayou.
Wow.
And then that's when you see, sometimes you see the water at certain intersections is standing so much deeper than in other parts of the street. That's because maybe there's a clog at that inlet that's going into the storm sewer.
And the storm sewer going to the bayou, is that right?
That's correct, storm sewer. Whereas sanitary sewer, that is what's going down your toilets and your bathtub and things like that.
Right.
This is just all the runoff. That's what the storm sewer is.
And that's what we mainly concerned about, is the storm sewer, because this is where hurricane season. We're going to need some of these things to be confronted with.
Sure, and there's a lot of plans right now for new detention facilities that would alleviate, in other words, you want to be able to store that water and slowly release it into the bayous, and that's what some of the new detention facilities would help with. But you got to have good pipes to be able to get that water to those.
These pipes are over 35 years old.
These are over 30. Everything in red here. There's not much in purple where it says age unavailable. Very little new work. See, the yellow is 11 to 20, so some of these are just little bits that are new. Most of it is very old infrastructure. You can see they don't go down every street. They kind of, a lot of the things drain to these lines, and then these are connecting, back into the bayou.
All right, thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.